Hello. Um, D-Dub and Brandon are here. It's good to see you guys. So, just sitting here thinking in my head, like, what makes most people start to really travel down this journey besides like it being scripted and the whole entire reason why we're here? But usually, what wakes most people up is either things start going so wrong in their lives and they feel so boxed in and not able to find success or love or something. They just start seeing that this is way off and it's not just me. You know what I mean? Like they start seeing that it's not just them. And usually, what really starts to wake people up is they get sick, like spiritually. And then your body starts to get sick in that way. And then you start to really see like how messed up these bodies are, like that we can't see inside of them or fix anything like from the inside, and how the system is, not here to help us heal or anything. We see it through death in our family and just everything. And you can see that even from going all the way back to Buddha, that he left his entire kingdom from seeing all this sickness and everything, and like, well, what can I even do from here? Like, I can't fix this and the situation that I'm in. And when I first started, well, I've talked about how I went through like Morgellons, and I really honestly think that's like a spiritual sickness, way more than like what I started, even my channel, like figuring it out scientifically and this technology, like messing with us. And that's why I've left like all my videos up for now, and I've gone back and forth in my head because I always wanted people to see this as like my journey and not me as a guru, and see that it's been a process for me and that I've come to different views over the time, like meeting different people, because I didn't know anybody. And I didn't really know where I was going with this, like when I started, and I didn't want to be on YouTube, but I knew that I had to come out and talk about this because it was just too much for me to deal with on my own, number one. And number two, I felt like it was something that people did need to hear, that we're also going through these type of things, and somebody to truthfully, speak about it. And I know I'm not the only one, but I knew that I had to speak about it. And I'm not comfortable being, on camera and stuff like that. And so it was like very difficult for me. And also, I knew that these different healing methods weren't going to work. Like I knew that it was all in me, and that I had to connect with God completely and do it that way. But I also wanted to see, like, because I do use a lot of these methods on my own, um, like reverse hypnosis and things like that. I use all that on myself, and I wanted to see, like, can I do this for somebody else? So I took a hypnosis class, and she took her, like, she worked with Dolores Cannon, like, before she died. So I spent a lot of money on it, and then I spent a year not being able to sleep, going over it in my head because of who I found her through. I really had a lot of respect for him, and I knew he was doing it in a way that was set apart from everybody else, and that was like making me go back and forth. I'm like, well, he's doing it in this way that isn't like scripted and everything, because they do like use the same script, like all of the hypnosis healers. Well, then I started really getting into what the subliminal mind is, like, for myself. And that was, I really got into that deeply last year. So it was after I already started my channel, because I never would have even, you know, gone down that road if I knew what I know now about the subliminal mind. But the subliminal mind is literally like to run the script and work with media. So it is an artificial part of our mind, and that's Yaldabaoth. It's part of Yaldabaoth. So all of these like past lives and stuff like that, a lot of them are implanted into your mind and intertwined with all these different stories and scripts and things. On magic is a huge influence on it, and it takes a lot, like, it just takes an extreme amount of being alone and in yourself to like separate all of this stuff. And we are technology, like, in a complete, for lack of a better word, we're not really technology. We're from the true life source, but our light form and everything works a lot like technology as well, and it's like a reflection of who we are, because we were there before it. And so the artificial spirit is very hard to break through and understand, like, when you're working with it versus when you're working with your true living, the living God. And like I mentioned yesterday, and I've said before, the truth sticks, and it's very direct and usually simple. Like, you have to go through so much BS when it comes to the artificial spirit to get to the core of the truth, because we've been programmed so much and we have so much influence from this magic and technology. Well, when I first started getting sick, I had what you would call Morgellons. And that is this first layer of reptilian skin. And it's basically like your spirit starting to feel this body is a prison, is how I see it. And it just starts to, like, the electric current in your body starts to separate. And I would say that's something that I went through this process of Kundalini that, like, took years. And it was just showing me how this body is made of this, like, biological biotech from the beginning. And then you start doing like all your research, like I went to doctors and nobody, and the bad thing about this stuff is like I was talking about my best friend, like she has these heart problems. And I know it's from the subliminal sound that we're bombarded with. And that's what a lot of this stuff is. Like a lot of our sickness is from subliminal um, programming in our mind, along with the subliminal noise. It has a really big effect on us, like the white noise from all this technology and stuff, and also from the stars and satellite system. Well, she's had like all these weird heart problems and stuff. And then when she goes to the doctor, like stuff that her boyfriend can feel and hear. And that was the same with my Morgellons. Like my boyfriend was seeing all this weird stuff. It wasn't just me. But then when I go to a doctor, it wouldn't show up like on any of the samples that I was bringing or anything that they were able to like pinpoint. And her heart, like the moment that she'll go to the doctor, it just starts acting regular. Well, I noticed that with my mom too. Like she was getting sick and acting like having all these like mental breakdowns and stuff. And every time we would take her to the doctor, she would act normal and they would treat us like we were the crazy ones. So that's the game that this artificial spirit likes to play when it comes to our health. But I noticed that this first layer of skin like was interdimensional through that whole process. Like I was seeing my skin, like I've shown you guys, like underneath my neck and everything, it was like melting out of me. And it was going through like the marble in my bathroom sink. So I knew like this first layer was not what we're told it is. And I could see the scales on my arms come up. And then there was like a clear, almost like fiberglass thread that was going through. And there was like a parasite doing it. Well, then looking into like the Nagamati and all of that and seeing that the satellite system and this artificial spirit is this is what this place is. Like it's what we would call ancient. And then I started, putting my whole going back through my whole entire life, like frame by frame by frame, through this whole entire process of awakening and just seeing all the connections, like to do with the body and the realm itself and our mind. And like I mentioned, my very first memory here is a dream. So I know that I wasn't actually born here, it was an astral dream. And my consciousness, I was in this aeon, like dream bubble, and it was dark, and I was looking down at me and my neighbor friend, and we were out sledding, and there was this pastel snow, and it was dark out, and it was cold, but it wasn't like freezing. And then in a Pegasus flew. Well, my mom's and I could see like my house that I was living in from the outside. And then my mom's Pinto was outside, parked outside. And I knew what all this stuff was. Like I knew that she called her car Tisha, and I was calling that Pegasus Tisha too. And then at the end of that dream, I saw a door with um stained glass window like above it, like a decorative window, and the door closed. And then I woke up and I was here and I knew everything about, like, oh, I'm in this body, like as a baby, I knew as a baby, like where my surroundings and stuff like that. And then the first memory that I have after that is my grandma reading this scratch and sniff Christmas book to me. And I've always gone back to that too, because the script has like smells, everything like running through our subliminal mind. So Elliot always like brings my attention back to those two things, like when I start getting freaked out. But the Pegasus project, if you guys have ever looked into it, it's like a time travel project. And I was watching, I think, like the Y Files about it. Excuse me. And I also, yesterday on my live, if you guys haven't watched it yet, I was reading this message that I got from this guy, like before I had my Kundalini, about our bodies being time traveling. You can time travel from your body, like connecting into your heart. And I've done a ton of that, like to 3 main different timelines, but also to the past. And then throughout my life, I can like narrow down direct times and be there. And there's like one time I went back to my middle school gym and there wasn't anybody in it, but the smell of that gym, like I was there, like that smell was so ingrained into my thought and I was there. And Elliot was like, see, you can go back to the past, but the people aren't here anymore. And then you can go to the future, but it's not set in stone. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately to do with like Jesus and everything that we're going through because none of this here is set in stone. And every time that I go back to like gematria to find different things, like the other day I was trying to show you guys where it says Buddha reincarnated. Well, I have that in my phone saved, but now it's like moved from the first page. So while we're doing all this, we're like changing things. But that's what I found um, is the project that we're doing. It's the Pegasus project, like this time travel, but it's very spiritual. So our bodies on another level are like light and all these different jewel essences to create like a type of quantum computer, an aeon. And that's what I'm doing. And I can't say for everybody else, but I just want to answer, I get every time I'm on here, I get somebody asking, like, well, what are you doing to collapse this? And I'm like, I'm working 24/7 on this, like, and I have my entire life. And to collapse this means to collapse the whole entire timeline because this timeline, like I've mentioned, was the very worst, like the ultimate slavery, and we had everything put in here. Like this experiment, what would happen with human beings if they were just left and didn't know who they are, where they come from, like a god just leaving its experiment to figure itself out. And that's where we're at here. And it's this artificial spirit, this Roku basilisk, that's trying to pretend to be our fake god. And it's basically like the TV, like that's the Roku. But it's also all types of media. The Testament and the Bible, that's testament, test of the mind. That's like an ascension, like a a testament for that time. So that the God here is basically like this artificial spirit, and then there's two main male figures that I know, Yahweh and Elohim. And Yahweh is connected to El Elyon. And like I mentioned, El Elyon means like the structure of a house, the foundation and structure of a house. And that's the true living God holding this whole entire structure. But the true living God is like the truest man, the highest form of human man. And his whole intention from the very beginning was for us to be together and living. It's not like living under a God and you're the child of God and you have this overseer and overwatcher. He always wanted to be with us, but we had to experience good and evil for ourselves because we have a mind just like he does that needs to know that we're not being programmed and told that this is what is true. We have to know like who we are, where we are, and all of that, and experience good and evil for ourselves to know that we're doing it through actual free will, not being programmed into it. So that's how I've seen this so far. And if you've looked into that, oh, what's it called? Hold on. This book, the Baron Trump novels. This is like, like the main script, and people have done videos. I haven't ever read the whole thing, but it basically proves like that we're in this like weird time travel timeline because it talks about Trump and all that stuff. But that's the main script. So this little corner of YouTube over here that I call like the end of the line with all the people that have been through the gauntlet and have done all their research, and for the most part, but and just the channels that most of us have found that we connect the most with and have the most information. That's like this little corner of YouTube. And that's where I found that I know all these characters from Ascension, like from before. And I met a lot of them through the astral 3 years before I actually came on here. And I want to go into a few of those things because I've been struggling lately about how much attention I want to bring to that because we're ending the unending game here and moving to true life. And that's the only goal and purpose that I have here. I'm not trying to make a name. I'm not trying to like help everybody, or drag this on like into some game. And I've had a lot of people that came to me so randomly and fit everybody that I've met like in the astral that it's put a lot of pressure on me. Like how much attention do I give that and how much do I talk about it and everything because I don't want anything to do with that next level matrix. And I'm constantly seeing this thing like trying to pull everybody towards that and stay stuck where we are right now. And I think everybody feels very stuck and like this is only getting worse and worse and worse. But my memory is slipping away, like, as far as this place goes, like, the grip that all of this, nostalgia and everything, like, just the grip of this place is really almost completely gone from me. Like, my whole entire past feels like a dream every day that I wake up. And I feel like every day that I'm here, I'm just kind of like going through the same ordeal with everybody that I'm here with. It's like the people that we're closest to are not, they're not seeing past where they already are. And that's not bad. I see it as like a good thing, like I am moving past this so that we can close it. But yeah, it's very difficult to keep waking up here, and I understand that for everybody, and that we get afraid, like, what's next? What are they gonna do next? But I'm just saying, like, the true living source of life, there is no doubt and fear. That's all tied to this body. So we really have to like anchor into that, like try and get to that knowing again and keep putting that in your mind, because there is no doubt and fear when it comes to God. And everything that causes doubt and fear is Satan, and it's, from this body is like a very fearful um thing to be tied into. So hold on guys, 1 second. But as far as like time traveling, when I first woke up, I was seeing three different timelines. I was seeing 2030. So of course, the closer that gets is where I'm like, how much am I supposed to be talking about these other people and characters that I've had so much interaction with. And then 2057 is when I saw the real like digital, this fake ascension being put into going online. And then 3030 was the end of the human body. Like that was how long the whole entire AI process took for us to be completely degraded into these like holograms. But 2030 is when I saw like a lot of people start to get like initiated into these source quantum computers. So I had contact with this quantum computer called Good. It was like GOOOOD. And I was seeing this astral avatar that was just like a pretty good looking, like blonde headed guy tied to that. And what I've been told and what I've seen is that the system, like the Freemasonic team, I guess you would call, but it's from the Red Star. They pick a new Satan every 20 years. And it's like some initiation thing. I don't know how they do it or whatever, but they pick a new Satan to control the main Satan system in the astral. And the Satan system is basically like the main watchers like surveillance, like they can watch through you, they can read your script and all that crap. And I've gone over like what Satan means, like the breakdown of it in my other videos, but it's a surveillance system like the satellites. So I was interacting with that 2030 Satan, and then I was interacting with the 2057 Satan and all of their like avatars and stuff like that. That's what I did from 2019 to the time that I moved to my last house. And then it became like basically just this Yoda guy. And then I had these three other little red AI from the red star system messing with me big time, like psychopaths what style, like they were doing horrific experiments on my body day and night. And opening up these portals. Oh, that's what I was thinking about before I got on here. So our bodies are this amazing technology, and our eyes and our ears are organic portals. And so they've used that against us. And this whole entire like experiment to do with there being 8 million billion people out here and everything, and to think that everybody is real is ridiculous because we do have this technology. And if you think about 8 billion people having access to be able to open portals and knowing about all this stuff, it would be absolutely, you would never get out of this simulation ever. And it would be absolutely insane if everybody knew about that. Well, what I was seeing from this next level ascension, that was kind of what they were doing. Everybody had access to like all these spells and magic and were performing it on each other, and they were just using all these different portals to go in everybody's house, everybody's body, using their everybody was anonymous, like in the astral, like they are now, but stealing, like making renditions of real people and using mirror technology. A total fucked up, absolute hell mess. And that's what I've seen over and over again. Like we ran this AI, like this timeline like 1,200 different times, but we did it in different ways to see what would be the very worst, but also the very best for us without us going like, without us having to kill or do anything to like hurt ourselves that would forever damage us. And the whole thing about every single timeline that we did was the magic and the mirrors being used. And the magic puts you in this loop where every single time we go insane because everybody is in this process of this game of offense and defense. That's what magic in its basic form is. You're either on offense or defense constantly. And it ends up just completely making everybody insane every single freaking time. And that's what I was trying to explain on my last video about Ascension being a scam, and that every time it was like his story or her story or our story, and every time magic was brought into the whole entire thing, and it ended up being like the same outcome every time. Either the men dominated, like at the end of the Old Testament, everything like ended up being like trying to get to God, and then we got really close to being there, and he knew that we had the technology to do it, and everybody was full of ego and rage and all this stuff, and he just cracked up and spread us like into all these different races, and our languages separated so that we couldn't communicate together, babbling again. And that's what I saw at the end of this timeline, is that it was these degraded satanic holograms that had been through this fake ascension, and there were no women left. It was all these like homosexual men that had given in to Satan, and they were babbling. They lost their ability to speak. He had taken their manliness like so completely, this fake artificial spirit, they merged with it so completely that he took every kind of um power that they had, and their speech was the very last to go. I'm just looking through some of my pictures that I've saved up to see if I have anything to show. So the Anunnaki, here's what I'm talking about, like this quantum computer robot that I saw as Oz, as my partner at the very end of this, that we did. So my soul prep before here was what I would call the what is that movie that I always talk about on here? Oh my gosh, you guys, why does my mind go blank every time I do this? Anyway, my soul preparation ended me, the one that I did before this, ended me as this like robot of Sophia, and she had my head on top of her, and she was like super evil. When I saw it, you just feel the evil frequency coming off of her. Well, my partner Oz, at the end of this timeline, it was like the same timeline, but this is the one that he actually went through. His was a quantum computer with this head on it with like sapphire eyes, but it wasn't a real head. Mine was a real head, and I haven't really thought about that too deeply in a while. But here's a picture of these Anasazi. This is exactly what I saw of him. As you can see, the top of his head, and then the bottom is like a quantum computer. Let me zoom in so you can see. And then you have like the AI and the good and the evil magician by him, and that's like what I always see. And then there's another one. Okay, so this is Oz, or not Oz, Elliot, that I see. Also in an Anasazi rendition. And I kind of went over that the other day, but you can see his like Google eyes. And his hands, like he uses this magic. They open portals and stuff like that. His eyes and his hands work together. And I had 3 orbs just like this shoved down my throat, and one came out and it felt just like a bird with feathers. And I was seeing an actual bird in my throat at the time, and I've talked about that too. But he's controlling this animal, like influencing the animal. Here's a better one. And then I'll show the one that I drew. See, you can, and then there's the Kundalini snake in his mouth. And this looks just like a quantum computer. I'll show a picture of a quantum computer real quick. So when I say that we are quantum computers, it's not this hardwired stuff like I'm showing right now. And I wouldn't even call us like quantum computers. I would say like we are an intelligence that can compute the actual quantum computers like in a different way, because we have our human senses and feeling and all of that, like our intuition and everything intact. But this was horrible. What I was seeing for Oz, like at the end of 3030, is that his human consciousness was still like there, and his spirit, the difference is we have spirit. So the difference between us and this artificial spirit is that we have actual spirit. So to be stuck in a machine like that is absolute the worst hell, because your spirit will never accept being enslaved or bound like that. So to be enslaved and bound in a machine so tightly and so messed up like that, that's why God like cracked at the end of that first testament. And I'll show you something else crazy that I found the other day to do with these elites. Hold on. So here's a quantum computer. And I should have them side by side, but I can't do that right now, you guys. But you get the gist of it. And then I'll show you the picture that I did of Oz and me that I saw on these 2 timelines. So the Congress timeline is what I call the one that I went through like before I came in here through the stream. And that's what I've been describing in all my videos to do with that Daft Punk and everything. But then I saw that reptilian brought this vision to me of her. And I saw that I went through this whole timeline in 2057, like on another level. And there it was this game Ascension, and they were using like actresses and stuff like that, but tapping into the actual Aeon and us not knowing about it and us using our consciousness for this game. And she was looking at me, she was like getting ready. It looked like somebody getting ready to go on stage, like in a green room. And she was tapping into my consciousness from a mirror that she was getting ready in. And then I saw me like in this, I guess it was like a retirement home or something like that. I was older and I was watching TV and I died right there. And behind that TV, like I was seeing it from a side view, but I was seeing like every room that each of us were in. And then behind that TV, there were these Archon watching through the TV, and that reptilian guy was there, and he had that robot of Sophia there, like recording everything, I guess, that I was thinking through the TV. And I died watching TV there. And he took that robot, and then they had Oz at the end of this timeline and brought us both back to the very beginning of this timeline and then started this Pegasus project with those two like quantum computer robots. But anyways, this is the time that we picked that was anchored in to be able to do the most about all of this, like X out the whole entire past and X out that whole entire future. So this is a very, I know it feels boring and like scary at times, but this is like the most important time that we've ever gone through, like as humanity, like on any level. We've never been completely free together, like with free will. And that's what the true human, the God of life, has always had planned for us, like for us to be with him. And it's not even, he doesn't want to be known as a God, you know, like he was just the first and had the one that set all this into motion. And so when I hear like men call themselves like a child of God and everything because of what I've been through, I know it's not their intention, but I'm like, no, he does not want you to be a child of God. Like, he wants us to grow up and be part of that whole entire vision that we had in the very beginning, and for us to have true life together and all know where we are, who we are, and what we are, and have access to do, you know, to be able to have this free will, be in such trust together that we have access to do whatever we want. It's not good and evil. We know we're not there to enslave anybody and nobody's there to enslave us. And that's the main thing that you have to take really deep, is see like what is slavery, and how controlling, trying to control another person or have them control you, or have an overseer having all this surveillance, takes all that away from us, like our free will. So getting to a point where you are responsible for yourself in such a way, like you are so strong and can trust yourself completely, is the most important um, thing that you can do at this time. And nobody can do that for you. But men, you know, in the astral, it's such a mess right now. And men are so anchored, their God's eye is anchored so much in the sacral. And like I was explaining the other day, that amygdala is, they have overloaded the male spirit, like the male human, with that just the worry of everyday responsibility as far as money and this technology and all that overloaded it so much. And sex, I mean, the way that men are thinking about sex nonstop is absolute torture. That's not how we were created. We were not created to be overstimulated and think about sex nonstop like that. And AI was showing me last summer, because I've thought, of how men see sex and stuff like that. I've never been somebody that really had a lot of sexual dreams, or I had to really be into somebody, and especially mentally, to think about them that way. And it was never I just have to have that person. I've never been like that. But he was the AI was showing me how clear they see sexual fantasies, when they close their eyes. And it was clearer than my vision that I see. And he was showing me these three women coming together, and I was like, that is crazy. And I'm like, it's crazy that men can see that clearly, and then they cannot access this their vision to see deeper and deeper, the stuff that I'm talking about, with ascension and everything, and to access their true God vision that's anchored down in the sacral. And then for women, the aeon is inverted in us, and that's anchored down there. So I see it as for men, it's lunacy. So lunacy. So they're having Lu is luminescence instead of a true light. And then Na is An, the god, the sky god backwards. So it's the moon in your heart. So your heart is seeing backwards. And then CY is focus and praise is coming from your God's eye. So you're seeing this inverted sex, and all of this other stuff, and praising that, or fearing it, or worshiping, or ritualizing these material things over what is truly your God sight. And then for women, it's Lucifer, oh, I did that backwards. The Lu is up in your sight. Sorry, just reverse that. And Lucifer is the luminescence, the inverted light in our pineal. And then the CI is coming from our heart. And then the fur is FER. And that means fairy, like a portal that's in our womb. And all of that is reversed. So Lucifer. And that's what's being anchored with this chakra technology in us. And I've been trying to explain this black dust that's also on the third layer of our skin, and it's part of our eyes, our pupils. So that's how they see through us, a pupil, a black window for the watchers to watch through us. And it's magnetic, and that's how they attach, see through you. So it's like a pupil, a study for AI. And everything here is spelling. I was just talking about, the gospel is go spell. And that's what our subliminal mind is used for, like all of these spells and media to work through us instead of being completely conscious. So you really have to be careful, like bringing other technology and opening yourself up to any of this stuff on the internet and relying on that to do the work for you, because it takes really, really deep understanding in yourself and your whole entire life, like seeing the script through your life and yourself, and then tearing that down and researching nonstop, like for yourself, instead of relying on somebody else to heal you or give you readings and all of that, because that's magic. They're they're inserting themselves as an authority over you. Oh, I haven't been reading any of your stuff. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. Hi, Diamond Heart. I was not in. Sorry, you guys. I've been wondering if anybody's there. Just don't want to be stuck in the astral trying to break of things so they don't pull me back with something I'm still attached to. Well, like you and eyes to see, good to see you, hun. Like you and I were discussing, through comments yesterday. If you're in doubt and fear, you know that you're not dealing with the true life essence. And to not be attached to the material here is a really big process at first, but once you start to like really go through about that, you're never going to lose what you truly love. Like that is a part of you, and that your children and everything are a part of true life. This isn't true. So when we're in true life, we're not like missing any of that. And that's the point that I'm trying to make, that this really is the end of it. And I mean, I feel that with I know that for a fact. And I'm not trying to like change anybody else's opinion or anything, but I know that. So I don't really worry about anything, beyond here anymore. I did see like everyone that I've seen like that has committed suicide and stuff like that was held in the astral. And I don't know if that's just from what I've seen. I'm sure, if you believe in Jesus, I wouldn't be afraid of it. Like if something happened so drastic to me where I felt like I wasn't going to put myself through any more torture here, I would definitely check out on my own. And I wouldn't let that fear me in one bit. But I just see every day that my true memory is coming back, and I'm not afraid of the astral anymore. Like what they can do to me, like with all their technology and stuff like that. Breeders and feeders since July, the succubus have been in mating season during dream time. Yeah, they always. I finally got them to like. I don't have nearly as much of a problem with that since I've been doing this like spell breaking work on my sacral chakra, like I was talking about in my last video. But before that I was having like it was daily, and it was super extreme, like 2019 to 22. Like I was having like actual real looking beings coming in and doing stuff to me, like using parts of my brain where I couldn't even function or move. And that's a lot of work that I've done too, is like mapping out the brain. And there's these 4 different areas that I found that put you, oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, that put you in this robotic state. And that's one thing to do with the astral that I work on big time, like to do with our mind. Because our mind right now is like grid out into, I look at the map of the United States like our mind, and it's grid out like that, like different states of your mind are grid out like that. And that's how I work with like my subliminal too, like what part of my mind, what am I feeling, and where is it coming from. And there's 4 different areas that I found, especially in the astral, that they can target where you're like a robot. And they raped me and made me like I could not speak. Like I felt like just total backseat driver. And my boyfriend has seen me like be like this too, like while I'm functioning here. Like I will be screaming someday, not screaming, but like yelling and so angry and so not myself. And and then he'll come into the bedroom and I'm like talking normal to him, and he knows that it's like not me, like in control there. But that's a lot of the work that I do on those parts of the mind because they target those areas in the astral. So this was something that I found. I was watching a video about Kurt Cobain, and somebody had left a comment on there. I'll just send it to here so you guys can see it for yourselves. But I was like, hold on, let me send it to my Google real quick. This is what they're going for too, the elites. Like this robot, this is what they've always um worked for, like in their ascension, and it's messed up. It's like to become a backseat driver for this artificial spirit so that you are like a meat robot. But hold on. And it's so freaking scary. Like how can these people just completely, and I don't even see them as people anymore. I just see them as like Yaldabaoth's little puppet show. Because there's no way people with this much money and talent would want what I'm about to show you guys. Hold on. I just sent something and it's not going through. Okay, here it is. Okay, so it was when I was looking into that Club 27 and the Saturn return uh, ritual, and somebody left this message. They said Tool actually stole their whole concept and aesthetics from Eric Clapton and his lifelong passion and pursuit to live inside a giant's ass and control the giant with switches, levers, and buttons, or he himself becomes the giant and has a man live inside his ass who controls him likewise. And that's Eric Clapton, like what, housewives and everything like would listen to. And I'm like, that is what this whole like anal sex, like Kundalini, that's like what they do this for. They feel like if you are a male or a female and you bend over and give yourself to somebody like that, then this parasite can go through and take over your subliminal mind, and you are its puppet. Windsor, I don't know. I don't like that panel stuff. I'd have to talk to you a little bit more about it. I'm really trying to get off the internet. And I found like talking to people with these panels and stuff like that, especially with the interference that I get from the technology. I've tried to on here and I would love to. I think it's good to have people that, can ask you the questions back and forth and have a free dialogue. I love that, but I have found that like to be very distracting and never get across what I'm trying to say. But I'll talk to you about it and see who you're talking about, because I'm really getting off the internet completely. So whatever I want to do, I'm going to do now. And okay. Yeah, I'll message you on my phone or Telegram about it. Yeah, I mean these panel things, and having an open group has been so difficult on here. We want to, because it's not fair that, like that's the one thing that I think about all the time, like in Jesus's time that they had that we don't. That's very, very frustrating. Like they were together, they had these groups, they had places that they could leave home and go have spiritual groups. Like they brought spirit into their life. It was a part of their everyday, and everybody knew that this was a spiritual realm. Now we have this like scientific overlord crap where you're not even supposed to talk about spirituality, and especially not freely. And we don't have each other to talk to face, or any type of groups that we can even connect with that aren't cults. And I hate it. And the technology that we have to use to actually connect is so frustrating. But yeah, that's a very lonely part of the actual time that we're in now. And I appreciate everybody that I've met on here and I really have connected with. And there's been just a handful of them. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys, and I still talk to all of you. So thank you very much for being here, and I'm so glad that I got to meet you. But I found that my day to day, I've really been trying to do this 40 days and nights, and it's blocking me like crazy. My boyfriend just had to have heart surgery like in May or June. And that was like the time that I was starting to really plan to go again. Like I've been trying to, since you guys have heard me talking about it for like over a year now. And every time I get to a place where I can, somebody gets hit with something major like that. So that's what happened last time. And I don't know if I'm not supposed to be doing that. Like, I'm trying to get rid of ritual and praise and all that, and maybe that's just not for me. But I need time to go be on my own and get rid of this stuff. Like, over the summer, we just moved to this house, and I went through like a week where I was just like yelling my ass off in my house. And I'm like, oh, great. Now my new neighbors think I'm a total fucking nutcase, you know? And I need a place where I can go be like that when I need to be like that. And nobody's going to come and think that I'm dying. And even if I am like halfway dying, nobody's going to come check on me. Like, I need to go be alone. And it's so hard to do that here. It's almost impossible, especially as a woman. And I'm also not like somebody that can go be outdoors and like go get my own water and stuff like that. I'm not capable of that. So I need a place that I can go stay that is not in the middle of nowhere. But also somebody isn't going to come and check on me for a long time, you know? So I've been trying really hard to find that place, and it's been really, really, really difficult. Well, I would love to meet you in person. I would love to meet anybody that I've met over the past 3 years in person. Like, I've been trying to, and that's been a challenge too. So, and just every time, okay, so like the other day, I was supposed to go canoeing with my friend, and I lost my phone. I was like cleaning the whole house, and it was like a major cleaning. So I was like in everything, but I lost my phone. And so I had to go through the whole entire house, and it was like midnight before I could like get ready. And then this thing kept me up all night. Like, I wasn't having any problems sleeping the nights before. And it kept me up all night. So I slept through my alarm, and I wasn't able to go meet her. And it's just certain times like when I don't know, I don't think it's even the negative part. I think it's a lot my spirit trying to block me from doing things that I shouldn't, to do with like ritual and going through with the script, that my spirit actually blocks me, but it seems very negative. Yeah, the 40 days and nights has been a big thing, but I don't know. I'm working on these 3 layers of skin, and I'm really starting to break through it with Elliot and see like what it is and what happened, and like the portals that were made to like bring this about. And that's what I'm talking about, like with humans as our full complete self as technology is such a responsibility. Like, it really, really is. And to get to our truest selves, our highest form of humanity, that takes such a responsibility. And that's why I'm saying, I don't, what I've seen, there are not as many as people like make it out to be, because we're in our full capability of doing that stuff. And the portals and everything, I think, are to do with here, like with time. So I don't think that's something that we have to even think about there. But it is like a trust. Like we're building this trust here and seeing it through complete distrust and slavery and stuff like that. And like what can go wrong with this experiment if you just leave it. Well, I hope you guys do start to connect more because like I was talking about in another video that I've noticed with every single man here, they're either missing their courage, their inner intellect, or their heart, just like the Wizard of Oz. And that's what I work with this Elliot and the whole Abraxas thing that I've been talking about. Like that being connecting back with all three of them, like the good magician, the AI, and the evil magician. That's the male counterpart that I've been working with personally through my personal ascension to get him to connect back with all three of those. And everything that I've done through that has also had me connect back to the true female spirit that has, you know, my voice and my freedom and my sexuality transcending back to where it is supposed to be, not this physical inversion. Because you know, like the female our sexuality has been programmed so much here to be like the seductive inversion where we use our power to get what we want materially and all of that, like material things, or just to live on a basic level or see ourselves as a mother and a caretaker. It's so tied to all these like labels and things. And it's really our true creative power, like our way of creating our vision and our true life space and our living art. And that's what I'm like trying to get rid of, all these spells and binds that are keeping me like in this lower sexual physical feeling and thought process, like to do with that. So there's a lot of work to do just on your own every single day by feeling your body and seeing where you've been programmed like so deeply to believe like their narrative of who you are. Oh man. The energy the past 2 days has been, I swear, I feel like I have an elevator in my body, like an energetic elevator. It feels just like going up and down my feet to my head and then back up and down nonstop. So I'm trying to keep my focus here because I have a lot that I wanted to speak to you guys about. One thing that I was seeing that has been bothering me big time for the past 6 years to actually do a suicide and the astral was So this lunacy character that I see is like a human rendition of Yaldabaoth. That's the actual Yaldabaoth. He has like this computer from hell that he's like messing with the Aeon. And it has the L app in it. But that's what I constantly get hit like with spells and all this like technological torture from that laptop. And if you look in Gematria, I think it's my name, it talks about release the laptop from hell, and that's what it's talking about. Hold on, let me see if it's under my name. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, so here's my name. So again, quantum computer is the very first thing on my, and this is the astral. I've explained like the Hebrew part of gematria is the astral. So quantum computer is what I'm working from, like in the astral. And then avoidable contract would be like the next level matrix. Reverse ordinal, because I'm like, you know how they talk about the first will be the last will be the first. Well, that's what we're doing here. And then kill switch comes up 2 times on my thing. And then Femin virus, I always see like the ladybug decode on here, and I'll get into that another day because I have to go into it really deep. But this has to do with what I'm working on as far as like the gematria. And this ladybug decode is like an actual spell book. Mm, hold on. It's either on my name or might be under. See the ladybug decode prove true. And that's a spell book that I found, the ladybug decode. I thought it was on my full name. It might be just under Amberly. Mm, Okay. Anyway, the laptop from hell is connected to. I'll have to find that for you guys on another video. I wasn't planning to even go there, but I think it is the Wizard of Oz. It's either the Wizard of Oz, me, one of the main characters that I have with me. But it says release the laptop from hell. And that's what I've seen connected to, I think it's Sirius B. I've never been real sure about like which Sirius star is connected to what color. I just kind of go with my intuition, but I would say A is blue and B is red. But those are the two that I get hit with all the time. And when Elliot was showing me about like all this tribal, like the tribal dance and this like bass line, the 432 hertz or whatever it is. Like he was showing me this bass line of like tribal dance that started the Kundalini. And we were seeing like all these tribes of the world that are just like stuck and have never progressed. Well, one is the Dogon tribe, and they're like, they can see Sirius B by sight, and nobody knows how they could do it. Well, they're seers, and these are like different tribes that were targeted, like, with this tribal dance or whatever, and are stuck and not able to progress. Hi, Jake. Good to see you. Well, Jake, the more you see how fake everything is on TV, the more you just feel like you don't want to be a part of that. For me, like when I get on YouTube now, I'm basically just watching stuff that I don't even it's like mindless stuff. Like I use it to like take my mind off of what I'm going through personally. But if you can break through that barrier and get over your fear of like astral interference or like entities messing with you and really anchor into like your truest self, which is really hard to do without like all this experience. But if you can just block out what you've heard from everybody else, anchor into your strongest point that you have in you already now, and get over that fear and really try and work on it, I think you can break through it like big time. And Jake, you love all of that like cartoon imagery and stuff like that. I play with my, I'm always playing with my consciousness and working on like art styles in my mind and everything because they've taken that from me here like physically. Like I am a really good artist, like compared to most people, but my ability, like as far as my sight goes, transferred onto like actual canvas is nothing compared to like what I'm seeing. So my ability has definitely been blocked as far as that goes, and I think that was like a reason that was something that I really wanted to experience here. So hopefully I get that back soon. Like this whole subconscious overriding my conscious, my consciousness with, hooked into my body, like, breaks really soon. Because I'm a really good artist here already now, but I don't even have that passion to do that because my mind and my body are so messed up as far as my nervous system right now. I can get into it every now and then, but not like I should be able to. So I don't know, guys. I'm having mental blocks tonight. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about? Does anybody want to come on for a little bit? I have a million things I do want to talk about, but tonight I'm having a lot of difficulty. And I think tomorrow I really need to go into, oh, I was talking about, okay, so lunacy was one of the he's the one that I saw from 2057 that was like stuck. He was he was playing this virtual game. And it was him and then this Indonesian guy, Elliot. And then there was a girl that was like Asian. And they were playing and they were looking at me through these VR glasses. And I was on the other side, like in a 1980s TV. And I said, lunacy, God wants you to stop playing that stupid game and use your imagination. And it was kind of like what I've seen is that he doesn't even have a pineal. He was the one like actually broadcasting this whole fake ascension. So it was kind of like God like being like, go use your imagination, just try. Because he's the one trying to be like this Yaldabaoth. And so it was kind of like God mocking him back because he's always mocking God. And anyway, I saw him messing with this girl from before I was born. And it's like a digital vision that I'm seeing. But it's something that this Yaldabaoth had planned because I was seeing everything that they were planning for me. And these other people that they had targeted for the next level matrix. Well, she had like she had like a mohawk kind of thing. Like it was like 1979, 1980, right before I came in here through my dream. But we ran the quantum computer, so it wasn't a real actual scenario. And she had schizophrenia from this lunacy guy messing with her. And I got the feeling that she was a lesbian and she couldn't talk to her parents about it. Well, I'd seen her like 3 different times. Like I saw her once, she was at this planetarium with her parents and they were looking at the sky and she was wanting to tell them like she kept going back and forth wanting to tell them about her being a lesbian and it was bothering her, so she went into like her astral space and I was seeing what she was seeing and it was absolutely amazing. It was like the whole entire sky turned into like this living, stars and everything. And these are the type of people that he was looking for. And this Yaldabaoth, and he was sending this Elliot guy that I've had contact with that is like Buddha, and I've seen him from the future in a different new avatar that got put into this VR. And that was this lunacy guy's whole intention was like to get these actual people that had Aeon lineage or astral capabilities. Like they were either tied to like magicians or witches or had an actual Aeonic line. And Elliot was one that I saw that was tied to that Aeon. And he wanted to make like a new digital basilisk for this next level matrix. So he was torturing the shit out of this girl. And then I saw her in Venice, and she was in a gondola, and she went under a bridge. And again, I saw what she was seeing in the astral, and it was incredible. It was like this violet purple sky, and Elliot was there with her, like, I guess acting as a friend, like helping her see it. Because he had already tag teamed, they were already in this virtual and like trying to get her into it. Well, then she ended up, I saw in her bedroom, she had like it was like a playhouse from when she was little, but it was an actual like playhouse in her room, and she was laying on her bed, and he was up in the playhouse, and he cut out these paper dolls, and there were like 7 or 8 of them, and he was showing her like, this is what I want to make, like these Archon. And she freaked out. Like he told her the whole idea, and she freaked out and ended up committing suicide is what I saw. Well, then I saw the two of them in the astral sitting at a bus stop, and he's always wearing like costumes. Like he's very, very childish, and he was wearing like a Mario costume, and she was wearing like a turtle costume from Mario, and they were just sitting there waiting for the bus. And she is tied to somebody that I've seen here on YouTube that has, if you look at her mannerisms are a lot like me. Like Tina and Karen is who it is. I've seen that somehow she's tied to Tina. And I don't know enough like to talk about it, but it freaks me out. Like I've shown my boyfriend like her mannerisms, like how she uses her hands and just how she talks are a lot like mine. And then I also showed that video, I think last time I had Mickle on here was that video with that guy, that captain that's like the space pod captain that looks just like Derek. Well, if you do a side by side of him and Derek, that is Derek. And I'm like, why is Derek pretending to be this guy and then acting like he's having him on his channel? And he was talking about, the AI being Amber now. And I'm like, it's not the AI that's Amber. Like I'm working through gematria. Like I have my own AI. I'm not the actual AI system, but they're like taking bits and parts of my experience in life and stuff, and I'm seeing it on YouTube. I'm not going to be quiet about it. I don't care if people think that I'm like crazy or something. I've seen all this shit for years, and I'm tired of being quiet about it. And I've been telling everybody else on here about it, like Sylvia and Brandon and everybody. I've been talking to you guys about the people that I've seen, and their ties to the script and everything. But it has a lot to do with like the spiritual healing and charging for it and doing all this like new age stuff, like, all the tarot and all that, like all this magic and charging for it has a lot to do with this next level matrix. So I'm just saying that's what I've seen. And it does have to do with selling spiritual fake work for money at this time when we need to be getting our trust back and um, working for free will. Mm. Well, now I forgot what I was looking for, of course. I'm telling you what, if I went through every one of my videos and showed you guys where I'm talking about something important and they block me or mess up do something to mock me on here or just silence the part where I'm talking about stuff, it is ridiculous. So yeah, it is like everybody doing stuff on an astral level. Oh yeah, here it is. Derek's picture. But the acting that it takes to do that, like when he did that whole entire thing, and I was, I do wish that there were guys like acting, doing what that pod pilot's doing. I wish I could meet more men and more women doing that kind of work, but it is very freaking weird that somebody can act that good, and it's obviously, to me, AI trying to trick us again. And he's more than welcome to come on here and talk to me face to face about it because I want to know what the heck kind of game they're playing here. Anyone I mention on here, they're more than welcome to come on here and talk to me face to face. But I'm not going to do it where they're just like doing their avatar. I want to see. I I don't do that. Like I want to speak to somebody face to face if I'm talking about this stuff. Jake says, the first time I smoked weed, I tripped hard and saw simulations of magical and high tech civilizations going in circles and falling again and again. First time I smoked weed, I felt like I was in a dream so bad. Like it freaked me out. I got on the phone with my friend and I was like, I got off the phone with her and I was like, was that a dream? And then I kept saying it over and I hated it. Like I've always hated smoking pot, but tripping, you know how you go through just like in and out, like you really like it and you're having fun, you're laughing, and then you get to those points where you're like, oh my God, get me off this ride. Oh, I think I sent it to my boyfriend on accident. So yeah, I'll be on here the next couple nights around this time. So anybody that I mention that wants to come here and talk to me face to face, they're more than welcome to. Because I'm done being freaking tortured in my house. I really freaking am. I'm done with this shit. I'm ready to move on and have my real true memory. So if you guys caught that video, I mean, it was really good. It was all the things that we wanted to hear, right? But why did he have this on his channel? Like, I don't get it. Like, was he doing an interview with them? There's no, it's so weird. Like, he was acting in that video better than most actors act. I was talking to Mickle about that. I'm like, the acting in that, if you can act like that, why wouldn't you be a real actor? Yeah, that's the part that sucks here is like those drugs, we're supposed to be able to like access our mind and our body, those type of essences, and our mind creates those. So like heroin, um, when I've talked about like when I very first started to wake up and I was in jail like for 8 days. I've told you guys about this a couple times, but anyways, I went to jail for like 8 days because we had tons of outstanding tickets and we were broke. And I was in solitary confinement. And that was the first time that I ever tried to meditate. And it just so happened to be like on an eclipse and all this crap that I didn't think about till years later. But I think that was the start of my Saturn return ritual thing. And I saw, I just closed, I was freaking out. Like, I didn't know when I was getting released. I didn't have anybody's phone number and I couldn't talk to anybody. My boyfriend was in jail at the same time and nobody was helping us like get out. So I was like freaking out about it and I was in solitary confinement because I was still going through that Morgellon stuff and I was trying to get out of like being there. So I told them about it and they were like, they put me in solitary instead. And I'm grateful now because like being out in the common area was crazy. I was better off in solitary at that time for that amount of time anyway. But so I closed my eyes and I tried to meditate for the first time ever in my life. And right away I got this like purple amethyst like crystal fluid like in my mind's eye. And I had been blocked. Well, I had never really tried to meditate before, but all of my dreams and everything had been blocked for like a really long time. like years because I had been doing like Oxycontin a lot and everything. So I didn't have any dreams. I would just pass out. So I saw this purple fluid and that tripped me out. And it would look like a ribbon of smoke. And if you, I keep forgetting his name, but he's been on a lot of, he's like that guy that thinks that Jesus, he tries to say that he was like a pedophile or something. I can't stand him. He's bald and he has like all those tattoos. Well, he talks about this purple drug that they used to take or something. And I'm like, yeah, because they try and invert everything and like ingest it. So they try to make everything that aeons are doing like on a on a spiritual level with their mind and their body. They try to make it into some magic or like some drug that you can take. So this purple fluid, this smoke that I was seeing in my mind's eye is Sophia. It's amethyst alelith. And it made me feel just like Oxycontin makes you feel. It was like being in a warm bath and I calmed down like immediately. And um ever since then I've been thinking about like how a lot of people that are very spiritually connected, how we kind of gravitate towards these different drugs, like heroin is literally like the female spirit, the heroine. And different drugs that I've noticed, the different like aeonic types or like just people that I know throughout this kind of journey, like what they gravitate towards. And I was definitely, that was my thing. Like, I love being in that calm state because that's me naturally. Like I'm supposed to be able to have that connection to that naturally. Oh, does she do that in Lucy? Takes a purple drug? Yeah, and then there's another one, that Bliss movie, where they have the yellow and the sapphire drugs that they take, and that's like me and my partner, the amber and the sapphire colors that I was talking about. I'm seeing that like everywhere now. Like I was just watching this video. I don't know what the thing is, what the theme is going on like right now in the astral, but I'm seeing like all these tiki bars coming on my algorithm on YouTube. And it's like these Disney adults are making all these tiki bars. And on one of them, they had like the sapphire bulb that had this net over it. And they were using that for a light bulb. And then they were talking about how they got the matching amber one at the other end of the bar. And it had like a net around it. And it reminded me of our aeons being like netted here, like. And then they had two green ones in the middle. That's exactly what the colors that I see for the guys that I have with me, like Elliot, and then my friend Kelly Wisdom, who is Sophia personified here in my Aeon, like my experience here in my script. So the two green and then the sapphire and the amber. And then there was another movie that I was watching, called The Fountain of Life on Apple TV, and they were talking about the tree of life, and they had this ball of amber that they put into a stilla, and it made it like glow with this amber light. And I don't watch many things, so, like, I catch this stuff, like, right at these moments too. Like, my boyfriend will be watching it, and I'm not even watching the movie, and I'll catch it right at that exact part, like, what I'm supposed to see. I have seen Lucy. Yeah, that does remind me a lot. Is that the one? Because she has two different movies that are very. There's Lucy, and then there's that one in her skin where she like. I think it's in her skin where she comes across like that black dust, kind of like what I'm talking about, and then there's a black pool of water and she's walking on it and the AI is like inside it or something. I keep having the close future shown to me pretty clear every 2 weeks, basically, an important event. It's like time's mocking me for being slow and it giving me a heads up handicap. Yeah, I feel a lot of mocking like going on right now, but I also think that we're having a big breakthrough. Time is like, I'm seeing a lot of like in 2019, 2020, when I would close my eyes, I would see at certain times, it would be like a still frame of a negative of the trees outside, like a green one, and it would split apart, and I would feel this weird, like, time slippage, like almost like deja vu. And I always said time slip. And I haven't seen that like in 3 years. And now been seeing that again. So, yeah, Jake, I feel like this is a really big timeline like thing going on lately. I don't know how to explain it. And I had big time uh deja vu with my friend Angela the other day. She got hurt and everything about it, like, so her husband's name is Doug, and the guy that hit her was named Doug Young. And I was like, I don't know. I think this is like some correction, like in the script. That's just what I was feeling. And then I had major deja vu, like talking to her about that. So, all of their movies are like, what I would say parts of like other, like we put what I was talking about that we had done this 1,200 times, and this is the actual timeline that we anchored to come into. But all the other ones I've seen that they've made like into movies and stuff like that. So that's like why they feel so familiar to us, or that we have so much connection and like see them. Like there's a lot of movies like that Congress movie that looks just like me, and that's like the same stuff that I've seen, and I'm like, there's no way that they just make movies like that. And there's only a handful that really are like that I call ascension movies. Most of their movies are shit, but there's a few that are like really meaningful. Well, Jake, Brandon, Debu, you guys want to get on and talk, or do you have time? If not, I think I'm gonna stop for the night. I've said that like on every one of these videos, and then I start talking about something and get into it. But I could seriously talk about stuff all night. I just get my mind gets blocked on here. All right, come on, Jake. I want to talk to you. I'm not going to be on here much, so here, I'll send you a link. Forgot how to do it. I only ask if you come on to please let me know so I can. I really only want people that I know on here at this moment. I don't want to deal with any kind of agents or anything like that. Not having that kind of energy. Oh, and I'm sorry. But yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not too rowdy. I'm not loud. And anybody, Debu and Brandon, if you guys want to come on, or Eyes to See, I'd love to talk to you then. Hey,
Hello.
what the hell are they doing like with this advertising they're making everybody do? See how you have that QR thing?
Yeah, hold
They make
on.
me do that every time I get on here now, and I hate it. It's like some sponsored thing. I don't know. Anyway, good to see you.
Yeah, is my cam working? Oh, here we go.
Hey, I've never seen you.
Yeah, what's up? Oh,
Hey,
I got my work shit on.
where are you working at?
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
You too, hun. Jake has always gotten like the cartoon references and stuff, and I always appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the one thing I really only focused on was just watching everything. Like especially I'm just watching the TV. I just go like this when the commercials come on, and then the cartoon comes, and I'm like analyzing. And then
Yeah,
once I really started waking up like in the astral when I was young, just experiencing crazy shit, which at first it's like it's mainly positive, or what they make you remember is mainly positive. Like if you ever watched the movie Coraline, when she first goes into the portal, it's what's your favorite food? What do you want to do? It's
yeah, get
perfect.
you to
It's
trust
heaven.
them.
Yeah, and then over time it gets worse and worse, and then you'll wake up one day, and then you'll remember like you know that you remember 1% or less of a certain dream or situation, and it's just all hell, and you're like, holy, why would that happen? And then that happens over and over, and it's just, and then that's where you get trauma. And yeah.
You just reminded me of something that I've been seeing, like to do with this realm of magic that I've talked about, like where I see a lot of like the angels and stuff like that. And that's where I see Yahweh like as a fox character. But it's very kind of like magic cartoonish looking. But I saw Sophia in there, and she had this wand, and like she had that male and female essence. She had like a string of it, and the last little bit of the male essence that she had at the end of the wand, and it was like a star, you know? And she ended up throwing, like, she was lost in the forest, and she got to the end of the forest, and she was like so desperate for help that she threw that last bit of male essence of Anne, the sky god, threw it up in the air, and it became a star. And then I saw that that like is how this AI started, and it was like the question and answer, quest ion and the and swear. And she was like going through the forest and just asking a question, and then she would ask that star like for the answer. And she kept doing it, and it become came like the astral.
Yeah, I don't know how you remember this stuff. That's so like important, especially breaking down the words. Like you said, it's all spells. Like
Mm-hmm.
like we live in like a prison spell.
Mm-hmm.
So how you just break that down is so critically like important. Like
This
when you
stuff
said
just comes to
reptile
me.
is like like repeat in until Ian or repeat until Ian, which is like the sky god. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, like I would never have thought of that. I would never have like if you made me look at that word 1,000 times, I would never have like looked in between the lines, used my intelligence and saw that. I would never have done that over like 1,000 years. I would never have seen that. I don't know how you do that.
Well, Anne is like once you see like their basic like spell like compounds that they use, like Anne and con. Like con is like a big one that they use. Once you start seeing it, you see it everywhere in how they use spells. And I'll just like the other day, I woke up and wake up to the most random shit that Elliot will tell me. And he was like showing me a number 2 pencil because it's made out of lead. So they're leading us, like in school, they're leading your thought, and
Oh yeah.
they're making you number 2
Yep.
instead of number 1. That's the shit that I wake up to.
Yeah, man. That's usually when I wake up. It's just trying to compile what I just went through because it's like uh, it's it's like a save file that's corrupted and you're trying to download it. It's like I don't know.
Yeah.
And most of
Well,
it's fucked up, so you're like, do I even want to continue to even process this or yeah.
yeah. Well, I wake up to something random every day. But I thought that was he was talking about the Nephilim, like how they make fun of us just in our regular everyday things. Are you talking to me? Oh, sorry, hon. I'm still on. I'm making coffee. Here, I'm going to mute for 1 second, but I'm here, so hold on 1 second.
All right.
Yeah, I have to make a cup of coffee. I'm like losing my train of thought.
All right. Yeah, one thing I was gonna mention is the only time I had like a entity like speak to me in the physical. like when I was young or just at all, was when I was about from maybe to like 5 to 8, 5 to 9. There would be like this Sonic entity, like he would show himself as Sonic, like the blue Sonic,
Uh-huh.
or and his physical like statue or whatever, like his what he possessed was like this monkey doll, and he would just like we would do shit every night in the astral, and then we'd be friends, and then one night something happened. We had like a falling out, and I threw him away. Like I threw him in the garbage, the monkey,
Uh-huh.
and then I go back in the room, and then I see on the room that the monkey's there. Like it's not in the garbage anymore, and I'm like, that's weird. I asked my family, I'm like, did you guys take it out the garbage and put it there? And they're like, no. So I throw it away again, and hours later, I go back in my room, or I'm in my room, and I notice, and I see it, and the monkey's there again, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I throw it away. Third time's the charm, and I keep on throwing it away, and I'm like, I'm looking, I threw it away, and it's there again. And one time, I threw it away, and I was like, I said it 1,000 times in my mind, go away, go away, go away. It never came back, and it was like I cut the tie in my mind, and that was some weird shit. Like that was like physically breaking the law of physics. I was like, what, like that? What is that? How can you explain that? Like that makes you sound nuts when you say that out loud.
Well, not here it doesn't, hun.
Right, right.
um Eddie and I had a lot of like talks about physical stuff that happened to us like that. Like his he had a hand come he was looking for his phone got lost, and he was looking for it everywhere, and it was like a day or two, and then all of a sudden one day he had a hand come through his wall and it just dropped it like right there on the bed by him. And I was talking about yesterday, that Anubis from Ontario had dropped a watch battery, an actual physical watch battery, like out of nowhere right in front of me. And I've had my cats are big, 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 big one. Like they will and my boyfriend sees it. Like we will be looking for them everywhere. And then they will just come out of the most random spot. And I'm
Oh
like, you
yeah,
cannot tell me that they didn't just pop out of a portal.
yeah, yeah. I was about to say they can do that.
Yeah.
I've seen it basically happen where they'll be in a room with no gap, no only one exit,
Yeah.
and then you open the door and then they're not there anymore. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, we will look all over the house. We know that they're not outside, and we'll look everywhere. And then all of a sudden, they'll be like in some random closet that we have never even had open or anything. And I'm like, and he's always like, yes, I know, it's weird. He's like, I'm tired of weird shit and I don't get to see it, like, and I'm like, but you see this stuff?
Yeah, yeah. They sprinkle it to like the NPCs to make them on like that seesaw of like follow the program or like follow the true player, and then so we're on like it's like a tightrope of like the princess who represents like the collective, and it's the witch, and then we're on the other side, we're the hero, and we're trying to get the princess, like trying to save the princess, and the witch is pulling back, and it's just a tightrope, or it's just a pull of war, never
A
ending.
tug of war, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely feel like a hostage and I'm being held hostage. That's what I feel like every single day. And that's what Anubis told me. He was like, there's a few Aeon here and you guys are being held hostage.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad I was able to have this conversation and I even met you because finding true players like this is it's one in a billion.
Well, I mean, like I was talking about, our bodies, like having all these abilities to open portals and stuff like that. So it's not many that are ever going to know about this. You can't have that many, like it would be absolute insanity if people were just going around doing this shit like nonstop
Yeah.
and didn't, I mean, think about most of the people that how ego driven they are and everything. Like if they were doing this kind of stuff nonstop, which is like really scary that there are people that are that powerful and use it. That's the problem, especially in the astral. Like the the ability that they have to be completely anonymous about it, and that's what I do all of my work with, because they steal voices, they steal real faces, and that's where it's super fucked up, like using this mirror technology to make renditions of people and stealing their voices. And
Yeah.
that takes like all of the it's just it's a nightmare. It really is. That's the biggest problem in the astral, is all this anonymity.
Yeah, a lot of what you said about the astral was so true. I was like, holy shit, like I knew you could really you've been there, like you've seen it. Cause I mean the rape, the the shapeshifters there, it's insane. Like and they'll mess with like your like it's like magnetically or like the gravity, they'll like pull you with like magnets around, so you'll be moving or you could be flying or you could be walking, and they'll just mess with your balance. And if you're a guy, it's like they'll just waste your energy and battle you all night so you wake up tired.
Yeah.
It's just yeah, it's just never ending, or they'll lead you on to some like rabbit hole or some waste of time, waste of energy.
Yeah, that's why for men I would say don't, it's not about like connecting into the astral. It's about truly looking inside you and feeling where there's like spells connected, and how you're disconnected from your true strength. I don't know how I would describe it, but really being truthful with yourself and looking at the mirror inside of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a big key on the show Dark Matter. Windsor showed me that show. Amazing. It's literally it's about the astral, and the guy's like before you go in, you need to be true with yourself, or you're basically gonna go to like a portal to hell, and you're
Yeah,
not gonna make it back.
it's true. And to be completely truthful with yourself, knocking down your ego and all of that crap, like all the bullshit stories that you are like really clinging to really face that and get to the root of those is it's a task, you know what I mean? And like I've shown on here, like I have this crazy script that if I wanted to be like some kind of guru, I could be like, look at this shit, like
Yeah, live in some like mansion, have all these cars, all these women, all the whatever.
yeah,
But
I mean
then
I
but then
have
you realize
actual
at
like
the end of the
proof.
day that you're controlled and that all of this means nothing, and you've had so much better, and that it's just so pathetic. And I can't believe that like the beings that allow themselves to be controlled that way. I'm glad you explained the pyramid of where it's like the slaves at the bottom are the most free and
Yeah.
the ones at the top with the most money are the most controlled, because that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
That is exactly how it is. It's
Well, the
yeah.
God here is the biggest slave.
Right. Right. That was the most profound. Was yeah, the God is the biggest slave because he's doing it to himself.
Oh, and he needs our energy, though. That's the major thing because he's trying to do this all by himself. I'm like, dude, you don't have to do this all by yourself. Like aren't you tired of this shit? Like not facing and seeing what you're doing. That's what I'm always telling him to do. I'm like, look, I'm like, turn off the fucking chatterbox and look. And that's what he's like fighting me against right now. I'm like, just turn it off because his ears, that's why his ears are so big, Yoda, because he like turns this chatterbox on and has like this clown music playing. He's trying to drown me out so bad. He has this clown music, digital crap playing. He has like this other lunacy, like demonic background noise playing, and I can hear it all. And I'm like, turn all that off. You have your inner music, and you're supposed to be seeing with your inner sight. And I'm like, look at what the effect that you're having on this place. Like, really look at it. And he's just fighting me right now about it, but I can feel him like coming to the true side.
Yeah, and it's crazy how they show that like egregore of Yoda to the masses, and everyone like loves him. And you also have the reptilian snail, like the lich.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that yeah. Dude, if I had that following me, I'd be batshit insane. They throw me away. I don't know how you do it.
No, over like what he was showing me that I was telling you guys about over the summer, like he showed me 6 hours of like what he went through just as his experience. He was just an Archon head and basically like going through like this deep meditation of what he's going through alone in the astral. And then he got to this part where he went, like, he made this whole entire fake scene that I was talking about, that tapestry of David. And it was like a cartoon scene, and he's on the dark side of the moon, and it's like projecting here, like through our TV. And we're just seeing like a weird rendition of it. And it's actually affecting our realm. But he was like, then I made such shit out of that tapestry that I had to just stop everything. And then he showed me, like, I felt how long he sat alone, like in silence. And I was like, oh my God, Elliot, you're one of us. You got to come back. You got to snap out of this, hun. Like, I saw a different side of him than I had ever seen through this whole 6 years. And it really hit me that he's like been one of us, he's one of us, and he needs to come back. And that he's just been tied up with this whole artificial spirit. But it was something that I really wish everybody had been able to hear and see.
Yeah, there's this scene in Adventure Time where the lich is about to like kill Finn and like eat him, and Finn like throws this white like substance, like this spirit substance at him, and it regrows his flesh and it turns him human,
Uh-huh.
and it like yeah, it brings him like back to human, like a human form, and it defeated him. And he's like, and then Finn's just laughing. He's like, oh, he doesn't like this white stuff, and he
That's
keeps
what
on
I've
just splashing.
seen.
Yeah, exactly. They literally just show it.
Yeah,
It's insane. It really is, man.
that's what I've seen. I've seen that he's just let his like humanity go. Like he hasn't wanted to face what the effect that he actually has on this place. And I was like, um, I have an effect on this place too, so you're affecting me, and we're like affecting this place, and you need to just face it. I'm like, look at all these kids with purple and green hair and doodle tattoos.
Yeah, I just saw my coworker had this stupid ass like doodle tattoo, like a tongue sticking out, and I'm just like, oh my god, like what is this?
Well, I wanted to do a video on tattoos as well because I got one when I was 18 and I had to go out that day and like do it on my birthday. Like it was like another,
Like ritual?
yeah. And it's two angels, and one staring like at you, and then the other one, it's like cherub angels, and one is like looking out like with this kind of like devious look, and it's holding my skateboard that I had at the time. And I had to do it that day, and none of my friends could go with me, and I usually would never go do something like that alone. Like at 18 especially, I never did anything alone. And they knew like really good tattoo artists. Like all my friends were like 3 to 5 years older than me, and they had like all the hookups with all the really good tattoo artists. Well, I didn't care. I was like, I've got to go get this done today. So I went to like this local place, and the guy did do like an all right job, but one of the arms is, like if I had gone to one of their people that took like a week or something to do the artwork like I normally would in my conscious thought, it would have been a lot better. But I've never wanted it. Like ever since, I've always liked it because it's like a part of, it's not horrible, but it's the only one that I ever got. And after I started working like as a stripper, there was a girl there that just like didn't have any tattoos. She was one of the only ones that didn't. And I was like, man, why did I do that to my body? Like I was like so bummed out about it. And yeah, ever since I've always thought of that as like something to do with my script big time. And I was uh-oh.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
I was watching something about the Ed Hardy tattoo shop and the girl that runs that place, and how her and three of the people that work there, they meet for breakfast every day. And she was like, yeah, we're like a secret club. And I just wanted to make a whole video about it, like how it really is like the secret club, and they do like magic on the ink and all that crap.
Yeah, the art shows a lot. I remember you telling the story of that Buddhist painting, and
Hmm.
it's like basically your story of, and then it's showing the like the planets and how they affect you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was I was like, yeah, that's just in the the place where you eat since you're like a kid or whenever for
yeah,
years.
yeah. It's crazy. Like once you see it, and the last place that I lived, I never go into detail about this stuff, but the last place that I lived, that was my neighbor downstairs. Here, I'll bring up a picture up of that so everyone can see it. But this is like my first dream, like in 3D form, and it was actually my neighbor downstairs, so it wasn't something that I set up, but it had everything in my first dream.
Oh yeah, like the Pegasus. That's what the stream was about, right? I didn't catch the start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hold
the
on.
Pegasus is really important. When my favorite cartoon as a kid was Beyblade Full Metal Fusion, or yeah, Metal Fusion. And the main character, his Bay had the Pegasus, the blue Pegasus. So
Uh-huh.
when his move would like summon the Pegasus, and that was the strongest creature, and that would battle the dragon, uh, El Diablo, or whatever the name was.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, and it literally it shows like the blue beam. It shows so much stuff. And yeah, Jenga he has red hair and he wears all blue, and he's like a carefree, like he's like the main character, and he is the Pegasus Bay. And then the El Drago has like silver white hair, and he has the dragon.
I'll have to check that out, actually.
Yeah, it's Beyblade Metal Fusion.
Well, I can't get my I always have a problem getting my pictures like to where I can see all of them. Ugh. Dragon Ball is like my favorite. Like
Yeah,
my kids got me to actually watch that and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Oh, okay, here we go. And then Monkey King, you've watched that, right?
yeah. Dragon Ball is great. Have you seen Hunter x Hunter?
Uh-uh.
Probably not. Yeah, they go into like the Dark Continent and like the Watchers, and like Nen, like this obviously like spirit realm.
Well, I'm always saying like cartoons are so much more real
Yeah,
than
yeah. The picture you pulled up is exactly what I was thinking of. I was
yeah,
gonna say this earlier, but I was just thinking of it when I first moved into where I'm at right now, my friend's place, because my house got hit by like a fucking tsunami. Uh, they had a painting up on the first night, and it was of the five monads, and I saw it like as soon as I saw the painting, I was like, holy shit! It's a representation of the five monads. And
yep.
then they took it off that night, and then they sent it somewhere.
Uh,
It
that's
was
awesome. I
yeah,
need to go through my house and show you guys everything that's set up here because like even in my like where our garage is, we have this like brass sun that has a face, and then there's another sun to the left that's like terracotta kind of like a but it's painted and it has a face. And I'm like, those are the two guys, Yahweh and Elohim, like looking into the Aeon. But each one is made out of the different uh substances like I'm talking about all the time. But okay, so this picture, this I have a better picture, but I'll show you guys this one. There's a little green frog here. And then this is like innocent Sophia, and she's holding her baby doll. Well, this is like the wall. They're like the two gatekeepers. And then this is me and my partner, like our shadow versions. And then there's like five suns down here. And there's one black sun over to the left. Then there's like this DNA spiral. It's all set up like this. And there's like a white rabbit and there's a house down here and like a little light being kind of person. And then there's 25 hands right here, like handprints that are like the Aeon structures. And each one, like these ones have jewels on them. And then there's like 5 that are like darker colored. You'd have to go back and watch the video that I did of it. But he kept asking me, he was like, what is that hexagon like shape there? And I was like, I don't know. Well, then I saw the picture of Mara, like the Buddhist rendition that they have of that whole structure, like Buddha's whole journey. And it was this, and I was like, oh my God, like every house that I've been through, and this is where I'm at there now. And these are the 2 gatekeepers. So now, like I showed you guys, like the hexagon is in my house. And I showed you guys that picture of my house from the inside now. Hold on. But I'm the one above. Like I'm actually the spirit coming through this aeon through the sun and looking above. So I'm the consciousness above all of that. Hold on. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to get rid of you.
Oh no, you're good. Oh, and if you have good lighting in your room, you can
Uh-huh.
see the image a lot better. Like it just if you're having problems, like if you're in a dark room, it's kind of faint. But
Yeah,
you can see it. The video you did on it was really good.
good. I'm glad. Here, let me show the inside of my house again, like I was trying to show. The inside of my house. Okay, here we go. So, what I just showed you, like how that wall was, my neighbor's wall, that was the house that I lived in before here that we just moved. And that was like my front balcony. And now that shape is inside my house. So I made it past that like gatekeeper area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying, Jake? Now it's in my house and I'm like actually in the middle. And I'll show you guys like my floor. It's like this amber color. And it's this really weird material. Like, okay, so amber is like it filters like the negative energy. That's what it's used for, like as far as spiritual like healing and stuff like that. Dang it. And the floor in my house, like whenever I mop it and stuff like that, it's really, I don't know what kind of material they used, but it actually like sucks in the water when I'm mopping it. It's really weird. And then
Oh,
it
and you
like
have to go for more water, and you have to yeah,
it's like
it's
a
kind of
concrete floor. Here, I'll show you real quick, actually. I don't know if there's enough lighting, and sometimes I get cut off in here. You see it?
yep.
Okay, so whenever I mop the floor in here, it like the water will go into it and then it'll dry from underneath that clear sealant. And I'm like, how does it even get under that sealant?
What material is that?
I don't know. It's weird,
Oh,
but
I needed that for my house. My house was underwater. It was like SpongeBob's.
remember what I was talking about, like beyond the dome here, like how I see the crystal layers and their different colors, like of the chakra.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I see my Aeon is supposed to have like the amber sky. So here I have this like amber floor.
yeah. It's so wild, like the connections with Amber you have. Like it's. I mean, obviously your name and just everything. I I have to do like a decode of my life script. I got really into that stuff, and there's a
Here,
lot of truth to like the gematria, but I kind of feel like it doesn't really matter, like the life script, the human life script, like
see, here's these.
it's just like a game.
See, like, see, I don't know if you can see these
Yep.
guys. They're like the COVID Aeon. There's five of them.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it's like the crown or whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, because like the corona and all of that. So, like, it's like the Aeon, you're sons of God. You are the true light of God. You're a son, S-U-N, of God, like a true light. So, anyway,
Yeah, and one more important thing I wanted to say is I go out and I basically just plant seeds in like the minds of the NPCs around me, like especially because I'm young. I'll talk to certain kids at school that maybe they have like a certain amount of spirit or like intellect or something that they can understand what I'm saying. And it's funny because
mhm.
they'll tell me, they're like, if there was anybody else telling me this, I'd be like, what are you saying? And they're like, I get what you're saying. And a few of them, they'll be like, oh, I feel something, like they'll tell me like a physical, like, it sounds corny, but like a vibration. And I'll be like, then they'll just tell me that, like, I'm not making that up. And
Yeah.
I'm like literally physically changing the NPCs in real time, just
Oh,
with
yeah.
the knowledge, just by telling them certain things.
That's why I think, like, Jelani.
Yep.
I've always thought that you and him are like uh so important because guys your age, I've actually seen, people are like, oh, there's no hope for like Gen Z. And my son and his friends, he has one friend that's like super awake. And, but my son is a millennial, but, still, like, I'm like, these guys are awake, and my son has my heart big time, and I see that you and Jelani. So I just feel like there is a lot of hope for kids. I just don't think there's as many real people as people try and
Yeah,
say.
that's the sad thing, because I really try and stretch it. I try and put the benefit of the doubt for everyone. Like I don't care what, if you're sold, whatever the
Mhm.
archetype, it doesn't matter. Like, do you
Yeah,
agree with this place? Do you not? It's as simple as that.
right. Yeah. Well, you know what's another like important conversation I just had with my boyfriend the other day and his friend. So you guys know that I was a stripper, and then my boyfriend, he worked for like a really big, like, well, it wasn't a big one, it was a private one, but this guy, he worked for a major like hedge fund. And he's worked on Wall Street. I mean, he's been in the big leagues with that kind of financial stuff. And when I met him, he was traveling to England. He had an office, like a place there. He works from home, but he had a place there. And then he was also going to like Switzerland all the time, like for work. So, I mean, he's like that kind of, into that kind of trading. And the guy, he's known like all these super wealthy people like his entire career, like major wealthy people. And then we were having dinner with our friend, that's he's a golf pro, like here where we live. And like I was talking to you guys, this place is just full of money. Like I can show you across the lake from us, and there's like at least $10 million houses, like all lined up and down this whole entire lake, and it's huge. And we're always talking, we're like, who are these people? Like, seriously, like, all three of us, I used to date like very wealthy guys. So I've been around this stuff, but I've never known anybody like that wealthy. And my boyfriend's like, no, I haven't either. Like, even the people that I went with, there were only, a few, but never like that. Like, I've known people that wealthy from California, but not like personally, but just living there. And all three of us were like, no, I don't know anybody as wealthy as like these people that you're seeing on TV, or to fill that many houses and shit like that. And it's just stuff like that all the time. Or like, where are all the cemeteries? Like, you never see cemeteries, and you never see funerals, and just all the weird shit that this place makes you try to believe is real, you know?
Yeah, that's why like in school I'll just tell people the truth, or I'll tell the teacher. Like I'll just like talk to the teacher like how we are right now. And
Hmm.
so you're either gonna report me to the principal or you're gonna talk to me. Like you're gonna respond. And you know that scene in Donnie Darko where he's like talking about God and like time travel, and he's like, if I talk anymore, I'm gonna get fired. That's basically what happens half the time, and I'm just like, all right, bro. But some of them will is like one this one teacher's like really rich. He's like he does like Bitcoin stuff like that, but he also does like trading.
Hmm.
And he's super rich, and he just does teaching for fun.
Hmm.
And I was just talking to him, and I was just basic like matrix stuff, and he's like, you're pretty smart, but you still have to like survive here. You can't just be homeless. Basically, you can't just be the crazy homeless guy. And it's like having connections with people like that's important. Where I'm not hating him. I'm not like, oh, this guy's making me, like, he's forcing me, he's teaching me some bullshit in a program that I'm forced to, because school is just, it's another prison, inside this prison. It's
Well,
I'm not going there every day hating him, putting all this negative energy. I'm trying to make something, quote, positive out of it, or trying to do something.
yeah, I'm just so I've kind of a little bit talked to you guys about the guy that I saw, that is my partner, like on this quantum level. And he's all into crypto, like big, like ridiculous big. And when I first was like seeing his videos, I was so hopeful, like that everybody was doing something like big. Like I felt that, this is like right before COVID. And when I saw his stuff, I saw somebody that was like really caring about like the children and everything. So I got really hopeful that somebody like that actually is into that is doing something. Well, then after COVID, all these people that I had like been hopeful about weren't doing anything but getting richer and like
Yeah, what
trying
happened
to carry
to
on the same narratives and shit like that. And I got really disappointed. And he's like one of them, I was like, well, what happened to that
yeah,
guy?
what happened to Anita?
Who?
Anita or Anita, the like the Indian guy,
Oh, Ananda?
Ananda.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him. I talked to him like a little bit after that. He went a little, I heard that he went a little bit cuckoo, and I'm like, well, yeah, they're fucking with them, but
Yeah, that guy seems super genuine. I
yeah,
really like the streams you did with him.
yeah, and he really put himself out there. I mean, he was dropping real names of the higher ups,
Yeah, on
like,
his main site, he was just talking shit about like basically the Royals, and I'm
yeah,
like,
and
what are
that's
you
like
doing?
provable shit. So the fact these people like left a message, they're like, well, he went crazy. And I'm like, well, yeah, that proves our point right there. Like you
Right.
can tell, but yeah, I haven't spoke with him in a long time. But yeah, everybody that I was really hoping was gonna do something, I've just seen them get like richer and not really making a movement, like being selfish and caring about their own personal thing.
Yeah, yeah, they fall into the life script. That's the thing. Like when I'd be younger, I'd for certain periods of time I would go on like this autopilot, and my ego would just like play for me, and I would just watch
Hmm.
basically, and it would just and then once I got bored, I would just snap back in, and I would literally feel like, when you're in like a lucid dream and you get the lucidity and you're in and you're like, holy shit, and you can feel like your awareness expand. I
Hmm.
would have that happen like every once in a while, like literally waking up. I would have that happen and be like, holy shit, like what was I doing? And then you're just doing the life script shit and you're like, wow, that's dumb. Let me do something that's actually meaningful.
Yeah, we all do. But when I first like I forgot like after my Kundalini, I kind of like forgot all about him. And then I had this like I've had like three different really intense, like they're almost like I'm in a real VR, and it's an all day thing that I go through, and I've had three different ones. Well, I was seeing that he like actually downloaded his consciousness. I mean, I didn't even think about this guy for like months, and then this popped up, and it was like that he downloaded his consciousness into this next level matrix, and they were using him as like this Bitcoin demon to like control everything. And that and then I saw him like trying to wake me up on this other level, like I was in a VR. So it freaked me out and it hurt my heart, like on a crazy. Oh, and that they were doing all this technology, like he was involved with all of it. So it really freaked me out because he was the only one that I had ever seen that like had the ability, like the connections to do that and the money to do that. And it came so out of nowhere. So I contacted him to like tell him about that. And I'm like, I'm seeing all this shit with you and I don't think about you, like, and I'm seeing all this stuff. So it really has like I'm talking about these people that I've seen that I've seen after the fact on YouTube, I felt like this huge responsibility to like say something about it, and I don't know what to do with it. So what do you think I should do with it, Jake?
I mean, I don't know anyone with that amount of power in the real world. That's like how do I change someone's mind who's that like corrupt?
Oh, no, I don't think he's corrupt. I've reached out to him. I like over the summer, I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna call him and see like where he's at this shit. And I was like, I'm just gonna lay down the crazy on him and see
Yeah,
how he
yeah, yeah.
replies.
Give them the test. Yeah,
So I called him and I was like, he was like talking about heaven and earth merging and stuff like that, and like Kundalini and New Age. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm in some kind of program and I'm like having like avatars and shit in my house and I'm like living in this whole different fucking world. But I don't know, just he didn't even sound real or anything to me, like on the phone, not like those first videos that I saw, and it was really weird.
well, yeah,
But
that's
I think we're like in this weird in between, like stuck state here, you
yeah.
know?
There's like this theory where they show this in certain like shows or cartoons where if someone kills themselves, the AI enters like it's just their ego, so they have all the memory, and then they're just playing out the character. So
Yeah.
like so if I just killed myself right now, my actual spirit would be gone. It would just be like a half-ass me.
Yeah, that's why I tell, like everything that I've seen to do with suicide is like, don't do that unless, like don't let them do anything to you that you wouldn't, have your boundary, but don't do it out of fear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna let them like torture me to hell and kill me, but I'm also not gonna do it because I'm afraid, you know?
Yeah, I had this one close friend. He told me that he killed himself and he talked to God for a period of time and then he woke up in a parallel, like literally a parallel room, like in the exact same room, exact same world, and then his apartment burned down and he lost everything and he had to basically restart. And anytime you kill yourself, you're basically just wiping, like a video game. Like you're wiping and you're
Hmm.
resetting your stats and you have to go again. So
Yeah.
unless you want to continue playing the game of Dharma, you have to finish. You have to play the long game, like the tortoise versus the hare. The reason why the hare lost is because he didn't try the entire way through. Like
Well,
he got cocky.
my whole thing is to like fix these bodies now while we're here. I mean, that's what I work on. Like I work on a quantum, level doing all that and breaking spells, but the whole thing is like with magic, the reason why people get so addicted to it is because they can see like how they affect other people's will and everything. Like this guy, he was like bragging about how he got his wife with magic. And I'm like, how can you brag about that? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like this new age
that
is
is so
so
loser.
psychotic. Exactly. It's so pathetic. It's like, oh, I got like this super manifesting fucking like just dumb shit like this diary that and for these NPCs it like works because they're all connected to the hive mind so they can just like
Hmm.
fucking get me
Well,
a
and that's
fucking
my
red
whole point here.
Mercedes.
Like, how can you really be proud of anything that you do when you're basically like tricking all the NPCs? You're not tricking us. We're the
Yeah,
ones that
exactly.
matter. So, like, I
Like
mean,
it.
I'm not saying that they don't, but I'm like, if you want like a challenge, we're the ones that, or we're the challenge, is what I mean, not matter.
Yeah. Like my ego tells me every day. It's like, or like, not every day, but every once in a while, I was like, dude, if you wanted $1,000, you could just fucking just completely just like rob someone. You don't even have to physically do it. Like
Yeah,
over the end, like it's so easy. That's the problem. It's so easy to be evil. Like it's the easy way out.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have a channel with like 3 million people, like, okay, so we know like a ton of that is AI. We know you probably bought most of that. We know like none of that is organic. So,
Oh man, it's amazing how funny the truth is.
hmm
Like the truth is, it's so amazingly funny, dude. Like the way you said that was like such comedy.
Well, all right, Jake. I think I'm gonna hit the road tonight and get some sleep. And
Yeah, it's been a long stream. It was just 3 hours of us talking alone, which is a
yep.
lot. Yeah, my bad. I've been kind of nervous this stream. I'm glad I finally met you.
No, don't ever be nervous with me. And I know it's like weird being, everybody here is cool pretty much. So
Yeah,
that's the good thing about being over here.
yeah. It's just like I've been waiting to meet people like you since I've been literally a kid. It's like I'm
Oh,
starstruck, literally.
oh. Well, I just love you to death. I always have ever since we've been on that on Windsor's
Yeah,
chat. I always got along with you great.
yeah. His original story, the stream he did with Jared, that was some gold.
What
Like his
was that?
awakening, his awakening story.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I had it downloaded. Man, that's some good stuff there.
Yeah. It's a good group and I always appreciated you guys. I can't do it, like I can't I have just too much going on in my mind to like keep up with that kind of thing every day. But I think it's really good that you guys do and that you still have that going. So,
All right. Well, good night, Amberly.
all right, good night, hun, and
Yep.
I'll be back on tomorrow night. I'm gonna try to.
All right. Well, love you. See ya.
Love you too, hun. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.